up, I would've grown all day. Hold up, somebody can't relate. Hold up, stay down with no faking. Go up, top down, I've been racing. Go up.
Take 3.
Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy EK, and I'm here with my lovely lady,
Chyila.
You can follow us on IG. Check us out, man. We be doing up to all kinds of stuff. I do music. She does all kinds of hair and couponing, but that's different. Today, you're with us doing the royalty review, and we're checking out one of our favorites, Lovecraft Country. Today, we're looking at episode number 4, A History of Violence, where Tick and Letty get into some further trouble. So we're going to delve into that in a minute. Before we get into that, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Click our like button, man. Come check us out. Check out our other videos.
Give us a thumbs up.
She has tons of content on here on this channel. Also, you can find my stuff down here in the Cush America. We do a bunch of music, man. Check us all out, man. Come join us. We're doing a real big thing over here, trying to get the community involved. So let us know. So... to kick off this episode, though, man, I mean, it really kind of picks up right where the end of number 3 lets off, where the witch bitch is popping up, and she has, she's in the town, and Atticus pops up on her, and he's trying to shoot her in the face, and he's, and he's twitching, he's and he's unable to do it, and so
she can't be killed.
So yeah, she tells him about the invulnerability spell that her dad had, that he had to remove from himself to do the Eden's Gate spell thing. So he doesn't have it no more, but she apparently has it.
Yes,
obviously she has it.
Yes,
and so episode 4 picks up right from there.
Yes.
So she's riding through streets. Like, she listens to Rihanna, boom, bitch better have my money, boom, boom. She pulls up on Letty at the crib.
Wait, before that, that's not how it starts. It starts off with the dad crying and sobbing at the beginning of the episode.
Dang, you always do that to me.
Yes. We have to rewind a little bit. Okay, so first off, it starts off with Dad going crazy. You can tell he's sad about his brother's death. He's reminiscing, he's hurt, he's upset, and he's reading a book. I didn't catch the name of the book, but in the book it was like Adam and Eve fucked, and I don't know, it was just weird. It wasn't like the Bible.
Yeah, it was like, and then monsters came, and then it was like weird, but I notated that mentally when I was looking at it, because I was like, okay, that's out of the ordinary, because usually you don't see that kind of vulgarity used along with
with Adam and
Eve. Yeah.
Right. He was reading it, and then he got the book and burned it.
That was the book that they were talking about. The book that he was reading and all the answers. That's why he knew all the answers, because he had that book.
Oh, that's why he said he burned it. He was serious about when he said he burned it. I thought it was like he didn't want them to know.
He was 100,000 when he said that shit.
Wow. Okay. So that's how the episode starts.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yes, that's how the episode starts. So I thought that was pretty crazy.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So then it goes straight from that to old girl riding up, boom, boom, boom.
Yes,
Bitch,
the girl riding.
money. Pull up on Letty.
Yes.
She tries to run up in Letty's house, but she gets blocked by poof. By the goat blood that the shaman woman had put in the episode before. She put that stuff on the door.
The X, yes.
And apparently that saved them from her dark
She wasn't
magic.
welcome. Her spirit was not welcome in that house, and they made that clear. Because
she
was just gonna walk in, say, "Can I come in?" She was just gonna force her way up in there. She wasn't even gonna say, "Yeah," like she wasn't even gonna allow her to let her in. She was gonna go in that house.
She was already walking. That's why she hit her head so hard.
Right.
She knew she didn't know what was going on.
Yes. So the next scene, it goes and shows Aunt Hippolyta with the gold planet figurine. So she stole it out the house. Yeah. It led her to it, and then she took it. She snuck it out.
And then it was talking about like some universe or some solar system that existed with 2 suns. So I was interested about that. I don't know anything that had 2 suns. Maybe it was like, maybe it's like metaphorical for somebody having 2 sons, and they didn't know that they had 2 sons. Like how Titus, somewhere along the line, obviously they have a black kid. So maybe he had 2 sons and they didn't know he had 2 sons. So maybe that's metaphorical to the 2-son thing, but I don't know. But that universe thing, I did see her peeping that in the last episode.
Yeah. She was kind of drawn to it, but I didn't expect her to take it. You know, and it looked like it was working when she was in there.
I mean, I guess there was a lot of calamity. I was gonna say how'd she steal it, but it was tons of shit going on.
Yeah, it was a party going on. It was a housewarming party.
And the fire. And the fight and the police thing.
Okay,
so all that went down.
So the next scene, what you got?
So then Letty pulls up on Tick, and he's in the library.
Yes.
And he's trying to do research, trying to figure out the information that's in the book that his dad has.
Yes.
At the time I was watching this, I didn't realize. I found out live right now with you guys that's what that book was.
Yes. Yeah, we mentioned him burning the book.
So she's all mad. She's trying to figure out why he's keeping secrets, what he's doing, and she's on his head. And I mean, basically from there, he kind of tells her to stay out of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his dad's help, which I understand that him and his dad have a bad relationship, but I don't understand why.
Right.
And I don't understand why he doesn't want Letty to help. I mean, like, she's been with him every step of the way so far.
Yeah.
And even when Uncle died, like, I thought they were together, so I thought you would at least want that one person that has your back to be with you.
Right,
and he
right.
was like, just
Go
keep out of business.
Go home. I don't want him in it, and I don't want your help either. Just go home. So she just walked out and went home. I was like, okay, all right, fine. I guess he doesn't really want her to get hurt. That's why he didn't say anything. But still, like, we've been through this, so.
Right.
Okay.
But did she go home?
No, she didn't. She went to meet the dad.
Okay, she went to meet the dad in the bar. And that's when we started to find out that we knew that he knew more information because he was lying. Because he was like, oh, there's already one lodge coming after us. Do you want the other 34? And they both were like,
how do you know it's 34?
And he was like, like a little kid. I don't. No, forget I said that.
Right. And they're like, okay, yeah.
Tell that mind trigger. There are no lodges.
Right.
You've never seen a lodge. I'm like, bro, what? He was disrespecting Tick the whole time. Tick was upset. He was like, I didn't even want to come here. This is why I
told you he wasn't going to help us. He was
saucing this nigga. He was like, you're falling into her game that you're not going to win. Playing her game just like a boy. And he was like, this nigga was upset.
And so was Letty. You just going to let him chase his tail when you already got the answers he looking for?
Right. Yeah, so she knew. She called this bullshit.
Yeah, she did. And then he said he got some family out in whatever state that was.
I don't understand what his deal is. Tick's daddy ain't shit to a certain
degree. I know. And then I don't know. I don't understand him either. And I'm mad that they swapped him out for Unc. But I guess it's for a good reason. So we'll shall see.
We'll see.
I
feel like Unc was a real, like, influential actor. For somebody who wanted him to kill off like that. So I'm thinking that the resurrection of Unc is going to come by Tick's hands, probably.
You think so?
I think that Tick will be the one to resurrect him, but I don't know.
Rewind. I wanted to point out something really quick while we were on the topic of Aunt Hippolyta. Have you noticed that they're showing that kid Bobo in the show? Like, they showed him twice, and that's Emmett Till.
I didn't notice him in this episode.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to Bobo's house, and then he's
like, hey, your mom
called me. Yes.
Okay.
So they keep like throwing him in the episode.
They're like foreshadowing him. And
yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't notice that was him again.
Yeah, that was his name because they said his nickname is Bobo. So I don't know his nickname, but it's supposed to be Emmett Till, her friend in the movie. So in the show.
Right. Okay. So then after that, it goes to the witch bitch outside. She's playing tag with the police with the kids, right?
Well, the next scene that happens is everyone decides to ride along on the family trip. So he finally decides you have family in that state, and then they're getting ready to pack up. They fighting in the back seat in the back of the car, putting the stuff away. And
no, that was a little bit after her playing that tag and stuff. Because that happened because they hadn't left yet. That was like so. That conversation with the dad happened or whatever, and then some time passed. She went and was trying to play tag with the kids, and went to go talk to that police officer in that room. And then after that scene, it showed them getting in the car, packing up to leave to go out of town.
Okay.
So she's playing tag, and I guess the police are like following her or tailing her or something.
Yeah, they noticed that she was in that officer's city. So,
but that guy, the police officer, he's part of their little cult.
Yeah,
he's part of the witchcraft.
Yeah, he is because he knows about it.
Yeah,
he's familiar with it.
He was there during old girl's initiation.
Yeah,
during the witch's initiation.
Yes, he made that clear. I was there for yours.
Right.
I didn't miss yours.
So whatever he tries to threaten her or whatever, that comes back to kind of nip him in the ass, or maybe not him directly, but his boys, because we'll get to that in a second.
Right.
So then they're packing up. There's a little bit of friction between Letty and fucking Atticus, and they're having some like, oh, because Atticus is mad that she went to his dad after he told her to kind of stay out of it.
Yeah, but like she said, if it wasn't for your dad, we wouldn't be this much closer to the pages.
Right.
So he, at the end of the day, he needed him. He needed his dad, even though he didn't want to.
He needed his dad to run that book, and not burn it.
Definitely.
That was unreasonable.
It really was. It really was.
So then, I skipped over a part. So when she was going into the police officer, it was like somebody moaning in the background, but it didn't show that. Like it was
like somebody was tied up.
Yeah, but it didn't show
behind that wooden door.
But it didn't show it, and I was confused.
I heard that too.
And we watched over it twice,
right?
Because we were going through things today.
Yeah.
And I heard it both times. And I said something about it the first time. And the second time I was like, see, I knew I wasn't tripping.
Yeah, I heard it both times, but I for sure heard it the second time. Like, I heard it, but I wasn't sure if I heard it. You know what I mean? But then that second time, I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely heard that.
So, all right. So then the guy hitched a ride. That was some old hood nigga shit. This nigga said, I heard you guys are going here. I figured I'd save myself some fare. I'm like, no, nigga.
Right.
Definitely
making
not.
us uncomfortable.
Right, definitely not. 3 adults in the backseat? Definitely not. I don't think so, buddy. So they get to the museum. No. Okay. So the next thing. So then, so as I was mentioning last time about Letty's sister, she's like one of those type of black people who's like, you know, if I do the right thing, you know, play by the white man's rules and be like appropriate and all this and this and this, you know, I could be able to get ahead. So now she's getting like dirt kicked in her face. She tries to go to the spot where she's gonna turn in a resume, and there's already a black woman working there. So now she's like, they ain't gonna hire 2 niggas. So
right.
I already know what's up here. So now she's all down. She's singing at these bars where nobody's appreciating her. It's not like where she was in her hometown where they loved her out there. They didn't give a fuck when she got done singing. So she's this and
yeah,
that.
Fuck you too then.
So she's kind of just getting like,
you can put that out.
Like life is just kind of taking a shit on her. She's real mad at Letty, so she's like in a real negative mind space, really, because everything's kind of negatively happening to her.
Yeah, it is.
And so now her character arc is taking this weird turn. Well, it was like she was this positive person, but now throughout this episode, we kind of see that getting twisted and contorted. And now I'm interested to see, because now I feel like she's gonna be under that guy's like impression, like she's gonna be under the same. But we'll get to that in a little bit as well.
Yes.
So,
I have the sisters as the next note as well.
So then what happened after that? So then I have the brother shortly after that confrontation with the sister and the witch bitch and the police chief. The brother pulls up on those 2 police officers who I guess was tailing his sister, and he beats them up, and he's like, stop telling my sister.
Yes.
He beat the dog shit out of them.
Yeah, he did.
He beat the dog shit out of them. He slammed that one niggas in the head, his head in the door like, bah! I was like, oh! That's how old girl did him in Kill Bill. Can you imagine getting your head slammed in the door?
No, because it
both
hurts
your
when
temples.
you slam your finger. Yeah, no. That was awful. And then he just whooped both of their asses and said, she doesn't like to be tailed. So tell your manager or your boss she doesn't like to be tailed. She likes to be followed.
Left the niggas bleeding, leaking in the street.
Yeah.
Left old boy leaking last night. He whipped their ass in the street.
Yes. Okay,
So then they're in the museum, and his dad coincidentally has a connect inside the museum. Coincidentally, well, he probably knew the light thing due to the book now that I'm looking back at it, because he knew like that they had to be there, and they kind of all found the little door thing. So the little light thing shines, and the little reflector, and the door opens. I think that was tight. That was some old like Egyptian type shit.
Speaking of the museum, to just touch base on it, with Aunt Hippolyta, or the mom Hippolyta, it was sad to know that she coined the phrase of the comment, and it was given to a white person because they didn't want a little Negro girl on the cover. That was kind of heartbreaking. That was kind of messed up, you know? And the daughter made it clear. She was like, my mama named now, and I thought that was badass.
Yeah, I thought
that was badass.
I remember thinking, I was like, I wish people who like were more verbal and stood up like for stuff like that in real life. But like in real life, the kid would have just been like, oh yeah, that's cool, mom.
Right.
And they probably wouldn't have said anything.
Right. Shake, now they know too.
Right. Everybody was like, oh.
Yeah, people were amazed.
I thought niggas was gonna be like, you're lying. You're a liar.
No, I'm glad nobody said that.
All right. So then, oh yeah. So when the dad started knowing about the light, that's when I started to really start feeling like he knows way too much.
He knows way because he yelled at them to turn off the flashlights. But before we go deep down in that part, who is Montrose and Samuel, and why did that friend bring it up? Because he said I know sissy, and then he was like, I don't know, whoever this Montrose and Samuel is, and then it
sounded like it was the Montrose was a girl that Tick maybe used to talk to, and Samuel was somebody who's been with her now because he's like, they look real cozy, real familiar. Like I don't know, it just gave me the familiarity of like, but he doesn't care about that no more because he's like kind of like focused on Letty and focused on solving this mystery about his family and his past, so he doesn't really care. But I'm pretty sure Tick, however old of a young man he was, he probably had a life wherever he came from, and maybe a girl that was of his attraction and interest before this. So I was wondering who that was too. I'm like, what the fuck is Montrose and Samuel?
Yeah, I was wondering, and he mentioned it and then just walked away on him, like, because he looked back at him when he said the whole time he was looking at the map, he was looking at the statue, and then he wasn't like giving him any attention. But when he mentioned those two names, that's when he like looked back, like, who are you talking about? Like, why'd you mention that? Or, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Montrose and Samuel. I wrote that down.
Yeah. So then after that, they get down. They're walking through these tunnels. Is that what happens next?
Yeah. So they get down. He climbs down, and then he's looking at signs. And Letty breaks the glass to get the map. I didn't think she should have done that. What about you? I don't think she should have broken the glass, especially when he told dude, "Hey, I'm not going to touch any artifacts. You know, we just want to come in, get some info, and bounce." I think that it should have been respected, but I guess how else would they would have got it out? They don't have time. They had 2 hours.
Right. I was going to say, you get down there without a map and you drown. And now you don't have time to be diddle-daddling in the dark. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Not to mention by the first time it shows them, they're like, "Oh, how long have we been walking?" They had not been walking for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And they went to that first chamber before they had already been walking for 20 minutes, and there's 4 different doors, and they had to pick one. And Tick saw a sign, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll just double back." But he saw that sign, but it didn't really show us. It just was like a little branch, kind of little thing that was in the sky. But then they went wherever, walked for 20 minutes, finally got outside, and it was like this fucking walking the plank, like they were pirates. Like it was like this plank circus board. It was like a video game, bro. It was like the Prince of Persia or like God of War or something. Like you gotta tow the thing and jump past the blade and outrun the disintegrating thing and dodge the arrow. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Hit the code in. I'm like, what?
I was gonna get there, but you like jump ahead a lot.
I'm sorry.
You talk a lot and jump ahead.
It's because that whole scene was crazy. That whole I'm sorry. What else?
Because I wanted to touch base on before they even chose the tunnel. Like, how did you feel about Letty's knowledge when she said, "Well, I read a brochure," then you jumped ahead.
Oh.
I don't want to keep double backing every time either.
Oh dang! I'm getting in trouble, guys. Letty, yeah, she did say that she read a brochure, but I feel like the brochure paled in comparison and paled in knowledge to the book that he read. And he said specifically that he read a book, and she was like, "Well, I read a brochure."
Right,
and
I read a damn brochure. And then she mentioned something, and then she was like, "When did that come out?" And she said 1810, and he did some math, and then he like, "Maybe you're right." She's like, "Within the North Tunnel, it is." But I kind of was like guessing her. I don't know, her choice.
Second guessing it?
Yeah, because I didn't think she knew what she was talking about.
Yeah.
I thought his book superseded her brochure.
I was gonna say she's literally done the least amount of research out of the 3 people
right.
there.
She don't
all
read.
She read all she did was the browser or the brochure. Tick had at least read whatever books he tried to read to find whatever.
Right, whatever was available.
The dad had the key knowledge. He had the key knowledge, and so that helped him pick the direction. Even though Tick said, "What is this right here?" They didn't go back and even double check that. But they're just like, "Whatever, shut up, boy."
You wrote that part down. Like, yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, what him looking at it?
Yeah,
that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, he mentioned it, and they said they were gonna double back, and I feel like they were foreshadowing something like something's gonna happen, and they're gonna be like, "Oh dang, well we should have probably like minded what this said, or like this probably would play some kind of importance."
Yeah,
but they just skipped past it and didn't show it, and they didn't give the viewer a clear shot of it either.
Of what he was looking at with the flashlight.
Right, so we couldn't determine if it was something that was super positive or super negative. So then, okay, so what's next?
All right.
So they're going through the tunnels, right?
Yes.
And they get to the end of that thing. So like I said, the board is disintegrating and they're running. And this is when I really knew that the book that he was reading had something to do with why he knew that. But I wasn't sure. I didn't connect it like how I connected it when we first started watching the video. But he knew the order of the combination code.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the order of that poem from the beginning. I specifically noted that it was like, I was like, the dad knew the code from the book he was reading in the beginning. Because it was the Adam and the Eve fucked and the monsters destroyed and the earth reborn and stuff like that. And then they were able to go through.
So they picked the right tunnel, and then at the end of the tunnel, it was like a cave with just an opening. And I wondered how all that space would even be down there if you're in this building before you even got on the board. Before they even got on the board. And then before they got on the board, it did look riggedy raggedy. And I wanted to point out how brave I think Letty is, because from episode 1, she chopped out there with those monsters. And like I felt that Tick was kind of being mean to her, and she does whatever he asks her to do. Like she's scared, she questioned it, but she questions what he asked her, but she believes in him and she does it no problem. She went out on that board with that thing, that big ass anchor, like,
it was like a
whoosh.
chopping blade.
Yeah, and
that's
could
what I
have knocked
said.
her
It was
down.
like some fucking God of War, Prince of Persia type shit.
And he untied her.
He sauced her when she was like, "Are you sure it's gonna be good?" And he's like, "It's a special knot." He just said that like she was a kid, and I thought it was really a special knot because the dad came in and told this little lie. Right. And then when she got out of earshot, he's like, "It ain't no special knot, blah, blah." He's like, "Well, she out there, ain't she?"
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, they played my nigga, damn."
And then when she started screaming, he got up to her and untied the knot. So she had to run past that thing that was swinging with no knot.
Right, I didn't understand why he untied it.
Neither.
He was like...
But maybe he didn't want it to get caught and yank her off.
Not only that, but maybe because... Oh, yeah, it would have...
Yeah,
it would have
got caught.
When she would have jumped across there, their rope would have been in the middle. That shit would have caught and knocked them both right the fuck off. Mm-hmm. Damn.
He had to untie the knot so she could get through.
That would have been a fatal mistake.
But it was really brave of her to just jump with no cord, with no rope around her. I thought that was pretty brave. So moving along. Again, you jump ahead a lot. You talk a lot, babe.
No, I didn't. We were still just talking about that. I gave my take on them crossing the board, and you gave your take on them crossing the board.
I know, but you already mentioned them punching it in, and I wasn't even there yet.
Yeah, because that's the end of them crossing the board.
So the board started disappearing. They barely made it across. That's what I had. Yeah.
So what did you think about the code thing? Did you make the connection that the code that he was punching in was directly from the pages they showed us in the beginning of the show?
Yeah, I do. But when they first walked up, Tick said something first about it being Adam and something else. But I do think it was something from the book. I believe.
That's not the question I asked. I said, did you make the connection that the code that he put in was directly from the page they showed us in the beginning of the episode?
No.
Oh yeah, that was the direct order of the thing that you mentioned about Adam and Eve and the vulgarity and stuff. The code that he punched in the door was that direct sentence sequence. That 4 to 5 sequence. And that's what made me, when you mentioned that in the beginning when we first started recording, when you mentioned that, that's what made me click like, oh shit, that was the book. That was the book that everybody was looking for, that he actually did burn for her.
Right, that he burned. And that's why it was important to talk about that. His ass being crazy at the beginning of the video. That shit was crazy.
So then what happened next?
So they are inside. They're walking in the cave with all the spider webs, and the water is rising. And I have an elevator comes down. Now, in your head, you get on the elevator, which reminded me of Titanic when the elevator comes down.
And that rickety ass gate.
Yeah, it reminded me of Titanic. But anyways, right as the elevator came down, the lights came on that led down the pathway, and it kind of like played a trick on your mind, like, do you get on this elevator and get out of this water, or do you go down this tunnel with this light? And Letty picked the right thing. They went down the right way. I probably would have wanted to get on the elevator because I would have wanted to get away from the water, but that would have been the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Because the lights, it was like, they both popped on at the same time. It came down and the lights popped on.
Yeah, I was confused during that whole scene. And then when she lost that little scroll thing, and had to swim all far.
Yeah, was that her who lost it?
I thought it floated out of her hand, wasn't it?
Well, the dad is the one who snatched it. She just saw it floating. That's what I thought. But the dad is the one who snatched it.
They were holding their breath for a long ass time.
Yeah,
bro.
they were.
I would have been hot. I would have been.
And she had to go chase it. You know, that take a lot of energy to go and come back. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And,
Get it, swim all the way down, get it, turn around, come back. She was already holding her breath before that whole sequence began, and then still had to hold her breath once that sequence ended.
right.
So
right.
it was a long period of time.
It was a long period of time. I was like, dang, they're holding her breath for a very long time. So
Okay, and then what?
All right, so they get to, I think I mixed up my notes, but to the thing that really I thought was crazy, that the door required blood to get through.
Yeah. Okay, so that did happen, but the one part that you did skip was while that stuff was happening, it flicked back to the sister, and she kept on.
Yes.
She was talking to the brother, and and
talking to that white boy.
What's his name, bro? What are both of their names? They like barely say their names ever.
I don't know, but I know he's from the house.
Because even they just refer to, even when Letty talked to her, she's like, that sorcerer bitch. Her name is Christina or something like that. But I don't know the boy's name.
We got to get names. We need to know names. That's important.
If y'all know the boy's name, the Draco Malfoy looking motherfucker, put that shit down in the comments, pounce on his name. Because I don't know his name. I'm so sorry. But anyways, so it shows him and she's like, you know, stop looking at me because you're not getting none and all this, and that. And he's like sweet talking her in her ear and stuff. And she takes him home and they get to the crib and they finna smash on the stairs, which we were like, that's uncomfortable. Nobody smashes on the stairs, bro. Your back is all
You're
all
so
like this. Ain't nobody on the stairs, bro. They had a big old house with tons of furniture, and they picked the stairs. And then she takes his shirt off, and he has the devil symbol on his chest.
Yes.
And she's supposed to
He was red as the devil before he even showed his chest. His whole body was red at first.
When she snatched his shirt off, I thought that too.
Yeah.
I was like, she don't think this nigga's sexy, bro. He's all more red than his hair is. His body is more red than his blonde ass hair. I'm like, she must just be desperate. Cause like I said earlier in the video, she has in a bad mental spot. So she, you know, he took advantage of her at a low point.
Yes.
And now, I feel like she's gonna be under some kind of influence of him. Because there's all kinds of freaky shit going on with these two siblings.
The devil.
With these two siblings.
Yes. She's fucking the devil. I was like, wow. And the symbol was on his chest. You couldn't help but see it.
Right. She didn't
fucked
care.
him anyway.
Yeah, she didn't care. She still gave it up.
Yeah.
So then we went back to the blood sacrifice, which that was tight. I thought that was cool. And then he got inside. They got inside, and then they were like inside.
Wait, so the blood sacrifice, do you think that he got in because he is of royal blood, or you just needed any blood to get in? It could have been Letty's, it could have been the dad's.
Nah, it had to be in his.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why? Why is he connected to a wall that's underground?
Because that's their whole little thing. It's from their bloodline. They're fighting. Following Titus's shit. This is all.
I'm not understanding how Titus is connected to Tick. I get that there's some kind of relative and they did talk about it, but I'm not understanding how he's of royal blood, but the dad isn't. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, the dad had the book, didn't he? So he knows something. He can do something. He's not totally incapable. He had a book. The book that Christina is even looking for.
Right.
So he's not totally ignorant and he's not totally incapable.
Right.
So, and there's
and
no way.
He know about this sorcerer shit that he don't want his son part of.
Right, and there's no way that the son would be part of it and the dad wouldn't be. And don't skip no generations. It's just your bloodline. It's not every other generation.
It just was weird to me. And then we ain't seen Titus since we saw Unc in the same episode, so it ain't really answered that question for me. I just was confused on that part, but yeah.
So then he does the blood sacrifice because first of all, so he does the blood sacrifice. Then he gets inside that room and the zombie bitch comes back to life and reanimates and
that was fucking crazy. That was crazy. She sat there with her hand on that damn fucking map or whatever it was, the pages, and as soon as he like even reached for it, she just started moving and started forming into an actual human, like from decaying to a real human. I don't know, I thought that was crazy. That my mind was blown. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is happening? I would have been scared. I would have ran. I wouldn't have watched her transform. I wouldn't have sat there like right they
I mean, it looks like she's getting better. She was screaming and shit out of her, like, boom.
Right.
Like,
I wouldn't have sat there and watched the transformation.
hit her in the head with a bat. Bing!
Yeah, she wouldn't have made it. Or I wouldn't have made it because I would have been out of that fucking room with the queens. But I guess that you had to stay around because you couldn't go back out there. You probably would have drowned.
Yeah.
I don't know. But shit, I don't know. I was scared when she was transforming.
So then she morphs into a hermaphrodite woman. She had Johnson just hanging, titties and shit.
They made it a point to show that. They made it a point to show she had titties and that she had a little wee-wee.
Yeah.
A little wee-wee.
And then,
it wasn't even like a grown man wee-wee.
Right.
It was like a baby, like a child.
I know, I was looking, I was like, is that a dick? I was like, is it though? Is it though? And I was like, oh, but it is.
Right. It was no hair on it. It was like a child's penis. Like, not to be sexual, but that's what it was. It was weird. And they just made it a point to show her.
But then they only showed it that one time though. After that, they never showed it again. They showed her titties after that multiple times, but they never showed her dick again. But then
I don't know. I thought that was weird as fuck, though.
She started speaking and only Tick understood her.
Yeah.
But he couldn't speak it, but he suddenly knew this language.
Right.
And the dad didn't know.
How did he know this language?
Right.
How did Tick know this language?
I don't know, because the dad didn't know, which brings us back to the first question. Would Unc have known? Is Unc his real dad? Is the brother just a person? It raises a lot of questions.
It raises a lot of questions.
But he knew
a lot of questions.
The whole ancient language, and they tried to take him with them.
And was translating just fine. Like I don't know, like it was fluent to him. He didn't have a hard time understanding. He understood just fine.
Yeah. So then they take her with them. Like, I don't even know why they decided that was an option.
Yeah. When she sat back down and put her hand back how it was, I thought she was gonna go back to how she was before.
Right. That's it. That's all the information she had for us.
Game
over.
Right.
This message was self-destruct. And 5, 4, 3. Stay here, bitch. I'm out. They took her with her, and then she started acting up in the elevator.
And then started screaming like a siren
she was
in
a
the
siren.
elevator.
Yeah, she was like a siren, like the mermaid siren thing. So Tick had the slider one.
Yeah, bah! He did. He had the.
Now what they gonna do with her? They should have just left her in the garage. They still took her with her after that.
Let me see. So.
Oh.
What's up?
All right. So what do you got next?
That was the part that was the next part I had about her getting socked the siren and stuff.
Do you have anything after that?
Because we already talked about the sister saying "fuck you," so that was the last part I really had.
So my last two final pieces, really, number one was on the way. So they had so as I said in the beginning, they went up there to the museum. The mom and the daughter had to leave without them because now they're stuck inside this whole situation that's underground inside this thing. Did they even get out of that, or are they even outside of that, or are they just in a room that's inside there because they didn't leave with them? She told the daughter that they were back in Chicago, but they're not really. And then she busted a U-turn because she was about to go to Kansas because she saw the map, that the Lovecraft Country map originally with the little Grim Reaper and stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is she going back to investigate the death? Is she going to pull up on that mansion where everybody saw all those things that they didn't want to see and where they woke up where everything was what they wanted and then they got trapped in the
wasn't the Grim Reaper that ghost that it was that town that it was don't be here after dawn. It wasn't the house. It was
Sundown Country.
Yeah, it was a Sundown. It was episode 1 because that's where the monsters were, and that was like people go and they disappear. And
I thought that house was in the same county, or was it that same area?
I believe it was, but I believe
I don't know what that point was on the map, but I know that they had to go through that to get to that point, and I know that's what they were going in the beginning.
And they mentioned that in episode 1. That's so true.
And the last thing was, why did the dad kill the siren? He slit her throat at the end. He did.
And I thought he knew her, like, from before or something. I don't know. It was weird. Their interaction was like they known each other. She was smiling when he came and walked behind her. It was just weird. The whole encounter was very weird and strange.
You out there smashing hermaphrodites. That's why he out there trying to kill him. You won't let anyone know about our love.
Maybe not. Maybe she just know information that she know information that he don't want Tick to know. Maybe.
But that's how it ended, man. Let us know what y'all think about the daddy. Why he knows this information. Is he his real daddy? Is he really the uncle? Is he looking out for Tick? Is he looking out for his own best interests? Why did he kill the siren? Is he guilty? What's the sister doing? Is she going to be a bad guy too?
She gonna be so far
I think-
deep down in it. It's gonna be crazy.
I think the dad's gonna be a good guy because they're trying to make us feel like we don't like the dad because Tick doesn't like the dad, but I think he's gonna come through and really shine at some point.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the sister, I think the sister's gonna be on some shicey shit because they've already painted a split and a rift between her and
Yeah.
Letty, and it's
Because
only
she still think that
further
money
divided.
came from the mom and it didn't.
Right.
So everybody knows the truth but the sister. So now I don't know. But can't wait to find out next episode. I don't know, this is very far-fetched, but I feel that she gonna get pregnant by the devil white man and have the devil's baby or something. I don't know, something's gonna make her stay. I don't know.
Damn.
Maybe not, but maybe.
I don't know. It's gonna be crazy, man. Let us know what y'all think. Again, don't forget to hit that sub. Don't forget to hit that like. Let your friends know about the royalty review. Let us know what else to review, man. If you have any shows that you enjoy, we love to watch new shows. Do not comment anything about Westworld to us because we're not watching Westworld. We tried that. It's not great. So don't comment that. But anything else, let us know. Thank you for joining us, and y'all have a good evening.